3 bold ways to disappoint an avoidant and take back your power. Most people spend their time in relationships trying to please, trying to avoid conflict, and trying to keep their partner comfortable. But when you're dealing with an avoidant, this approach backfires. Why? Because the avoidant thrives in comfort zones where they don't have to face intimacy, accountability, or vulnerability. They want you to carry the emotional weight while they float above it. So here's the uncomfortable truth. The only way to shift the dynamic is to learn how to disappoint the avoidant. Yes, disappoint them. Not in a cruel way, but in a boundary-setting, self-respecting, power-taking way. And once you do, you'll see just how much their behavior changes when they realize you're no longer their emotional caretaker. Today, we'll explore 3 powerful ways to disappoint an avoidant and why it's the secret to taking your power back. The first way to disappoint an avoidant is by refusing to chase them when they withdraw. This is their classic move. The moment things get too close, too emotional, too real, they retreat. They stop replying. They become distant. They put up that invisible wall that says, "Don't come any closer." Most partners panic at this point. They start sending long texts, making calls, over-explaining feelings, desperately trying to pull the avoidant back in. But here's where the disappointment comes in. Don't chase. Don't lean in. Let them sit in the space they've created. You see, an avoidant expects you to bridge the gap because that reassures them that you'll always be there no matter how much they pull away. But when you don't, when you step back and let silence stand, it creates a rupture they weren't prepared for. It tells them, "I won't beg for love. I won't audition for affection. If you want me, you come closer." And that right there is the first disappointment that shakes their control. The second way to disappoint an avoidant is by prioritizing your needs instead of shrinking for theirs. Avoidants are skilled at making the relationship revolve around their comfort. They'll tell you they need space. They'll avoid deep conversations. They'll flinch at vulnerability. And most partners respond by making themselves smaller, quieter, less demanding, hoping that if they're easy enough, the avoidant will finally stay. But here's the problem. When you shrink, you suffocate yourself. The relationship becomes a one-sided performance, and they never learn what true intimacy requires. So here's how you disappoint them. Stop shrinking. Speak your needs out loud. If you need consistency, say it. If you want affection, say it. If you won't tolerate disappearing acts, make it known. Yes, they'll be uncomfortable. Yes, they may pull back. But that discomfort is their disappointment to carry, not yours. Because for the first time, you're not bending yourself into a shape that pleases them. You're standing in your truth, and the avoidant now has to decide whether they can rise to meet it or lose you. The third way to disappoint an avoidant is by living your life fully without waiting for them. Avoidants thrive on knowing you're orbiting around them. Even when they retreat, they secretly assume you'll still be there, waiting, holding space, keeping the door unlocked for their return. And often, partners do exactly that. Put their life on pause, hold back opportunities, sacrifice friendships, even delay their own happiness just to be available for when the avoidant decides to come back. But the most powerful disappointment you can give them is to stop waiting. Go live. Fill your life with friendships, hobbies, passions, and joy that has nothing to do with them. Travel, grow, shine, laugh without them. Because when an avoidant returns from their emotional hideout and finds that you've built a life that doesn't revolve around their absence, it forces them to confront the truth. They are not your entire world. That disappointment is what rattles them awake, because suddenly the control they relied on is gone, and now they have to either step up or step out. Now let's go deeper into why these disappointments are so powerful. Avoidants are not used to being challenged. They're used to partners who bend, who chase, who wait, who smooth over the cracks. So when you disrupt that pattern, you become unforgettable. Think about it. If every other partner begged them back when they pulled away and you didn't, you stand out. If every other partner silenced their needs to keep the avoidant comfortable and you spoke yours boldly, you stand out. If every other partner paused their life waiting for them to return and you kept moving forward, you stand out. Avoidance may act like they don't care, but here's the truth. They notice, and they notice deeply. The disappointment you deliver isn't cruelty. It's the mirror that shows them what intimacy actually demands. But here's the catch. Learning to disappoint the avoidant isn't about manipulating them. It's not about playing games to get them back or to make them beg. If that's your mindset, you'll miss the real power here. This is about reclaiming yourself, about saying, I won't abandon myself just to keep someone else comfortable. The disappointments are really just boundaries. Boundaries that show the avoidant you're no longer available for half love, half truths, half effort. And once you set those boundaries, something magical happens. You stop fearing their rejection. You stop living in anxiety over whether they'll text back or whether they'll stay, because you've already chosen yourself. And that's the freedom you've been craving all along. Of course, some avoidants will crumble under this shift. They may leave, they may get angry, they may try to guilt you. But here's what I want you to remember. If someone leaves because you stopped abandoning yourself, they were never truly there for you anyway. What you lose is the illusion of love, not real love. And in return, you gain the space for something much better. Either an avoidant who decides to grow and meet you at your level, or a future partner who already has the capacity to love without fear. Either way, you win, because you stopped fighting for crumbs and started demanding the full meal. So if you're listening to this and you've been exhausted by the dance with an avoidant, let this be your turning point. Learn to disappoint them. Disappoint them by not chasing. Disappoint them by standing in your needs. Disappoint them by living a life so full and rich that their absence doesn't break you. Will it be uncomfortable? Yes. Will it trigger their fear? Absolutely. But it will also trigger your freedom. And freedom is worth every ounce of discomfort. In the end, disappointing the avoidant is not about them, it's about you. It's about reclaiming your dignity, your peace, your joy. Because love is not supposed to be a prison of silence, distance, and second guessing. Love is supposed to be alive, mutual, and nourishing. And the moment you stop protecting their comfort at the cost of your own heart, you step into a new kind of strength, one where you don't just hope to be loved, you know you deserve to be. So let me leave you with this thought. The avoidant may never thank you for disappointing them, but your future self will. The version of you that finally breathes freely, that finally feels whole, that finally stands tall, that self will look back and whisper, "Thank you for choosing me." And that, my friend, is the most beautiful love story of all. And remember, the real power isn't in pleasing the avoidant, it's in choosing yourself. If this helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today.